All right, just give me 1 second and we will check the sound here, make sure we are coming through. And we'll get started with the unboxing. I'm really excited for this one, actually. All right, testing the sound. Okay, we are good. All right, hey everyone. Ryan from E-Bike Escape back with another live unboxing. The weather continues to be challenging here in Wisconsin for e-bike reviews. So this is currently the last bike that I have to unbox. We'll have another one coming next week, I believe. But this is actually a new company to me, and the company is Euphree, and they have one model. It's called the City Robin, and they've updated it for 2022. So I'm excited to see some of those changes. I've dug into them a little bit as well as talked to the founder. They are a US-based company down in Texas, and I believe a relatively new company as well. And there's some things that they've done on this bike that I really like. And if you do happen to look at purchasing one of these electric bikes, check out the link in the description. And if you're watching this around spring 2022, there will be a code in the description, and that is good for a free lock when you purchase an electric bike. And that link also helps support E-Bike Escape. So thanks in advance for your support. As always, we'll have links to our electric bike accessories list where we compile all the accessories that I see a lot of people purchase, our top e-bike brands page, and then finally our electric bike discounts code page will also be linked in the description. So if you're shopping for an electric bike, be sure to check out that link as well. There might be a current discount, and I follow a bunch of brands pretty closely, so be sure to check that out. And let's see, the reason that I do live streams like this is to answer questions. I have to assemble these bikes anyway, so it's a great time. If you have a burning question you want to ask me about this bike, I'll do my best to answer, or any questions about any other electric bikes that I've reviewed or thoughts on electric bikes. We've covered a wide variety of topics, I feel like, the last few weeks. And just to note, I am not a bike mechanic, so this is not a tutorial, but I will set this bike up. And I think that's it. With that, I think we'll get started here. And I don't necessarily recommend that you cut your box of whatever electric bike you decide to purchase. I'm going to do it just because e-bikes are heavy, and it can sometimes be pretty difficult for me to lift these up just by myself. So I'm going to cut the box, but you might want to save the box if you buy your bike in the off chance that you have to send it back. And they did say that they have improved some of their packaging. So this box actually arrived in pretty good shape. It's got some thick cardboard. I'm not sure if it's double boxed, but definitely one of the better boxes that I've seen. There's, I think, maybe a small puncture on the other side, which is not abnormal. And I believe all their bikes too are shipped from Texas, which I think is interesting. A lot of other bike brands come from the West Coast. And I think, at least initially, it was smart of the company to really just focus on one model instead of kind of expanding and just make one really great price electric bike. And this bike does come, I would say it's still affordable, but definitely getting a little bit more up there. But I think as we look at some of the components, I think the price justifies it. So when I was deciding whether I wanted to review this bike, I thought it was a compelling enough package. And one thing that I think is really cool are their paint jobs. And so hopefully that'll show up a little bit on camera. And of course, we'll have our full review as well. The only problem with this bike is that the Aventon Adventure exists. You know, it is the same price as an Aventon Adventure, but I think that's really targeting a different, people who are looking for a different type of bike. This is a city-oriented bike. And so the fat tire bike, I mean, certainly some people consider, are looking at two $2,000 bikes. But I always tell people when you're shopping for an electric bike, you should really decide what kind of electric bike you want first. It's one of the tough questions. Someone will, ask me a question, say, should I buy whatever brand fat tire bike or should I buy this folding bike? And usually my answer is you should think carefully first on what style of electric bike you want. Do you want a city bike? Do you want a folding bike? Do you want the fat tires? And once you've narrowed it down that far, then I think it's a lot easier to help narrow down the models to look at. So that's always my advice. Say packaging here is pretty good. There's actually some foam behind the derailleur hanger here. And I can already tell this color is really cool. So this is the blue one. I don't think that's the technical color. I think the green one is emerald green. And I believe this is the most popular colorway, if you will. And let's see, maybe I'll just trying to see if I can get this stand a little bit. Maybe not. Take off the wheel here. Got front and rear fenders. Again, some city-oriented tires. I always recommend purchasing a pair of side snips. Of course, many electric bikes have zip ties, so when you're unboxing them, it's just a whole lot easier. All right. There's that front wheel. Got the quick release skewer here. Got the protector for the disc rotor on the other side. $180mm rotors, looks like here. And let's see. Again, if you're just joining me, this is the Euphree City Robin. If you want to check out the link in the description, you can kind of follow along a little bit, look at some of the specs, and feel free to ask any questions. That's why I'm here. Maybe go ahead and just throw the skewer on here quick, even though I'm not going to put on the wheel quite yet. Got a number of zip ties still to take off. All right. Okay, we'll set this aside for now. And I'll continue the zip ties here. Looks like we got an adjustable stem. Love to see that, especially on a more city-oriented electric bike. You have to consider the demographic, average person buying an electric bike. And, I always think it's really nice to purchase a bike that kind of is already set up. You don't have to go shopping for some of these comfort accessories. If you can see it here, and you haven't already peeked at their website, this is the only company I'm aware of that includes an SR Suntour NCX suspension seat post right from the company. That's an accessory that has been on our electric bike accessories list for some time. And, out of all the suspension seat posts, it's the one I've used the most. It's to buy them by themselves is just over $100. So you need to factor that certainly into the price of this bike at $2,000. And it's just nice, right? You don't have to, after you get your electric bike, if you're looking for some additional comfort, you don't have to figure out what seat post and then seat post size you need to buy and then buy it, and then you have an extra seat post. So this kind of just takes that out of the equation, and I personally think that's going to be a big selling point for Euphree. I think that was a very smart decision. Of course, if people don't happen to see that it comes with the suspension seat post or know that this is a pretty nice component, it might seem that this bike is more expensive, but you don't have to go and buy that suspension seat post. I believe the motor peaks at 850 watts. I was taking another closer look at the website. And in our full video review, I, of course, will do the large hill climb test. And we'll see just how powerful the motor is. Can't remember exactly the nominal rating, but peak, I believe, said 850. Just got a lot of zip ties on this one here. Very well packaged. And so I think the way I would look at this bike, if you're thinking of, kind of what you're getting for the price, you have the super entry level, city bikes that are maybe around $1,500. And then you have some really interesting offerings at the $2,000 price point, such as this bike. And then above that is going to be your higher end, where you're maybe getting into mid-drive motors and getting into maybe some of the brands that are sold at bike shops. So that's kind of how I would think about the pricing of some of these city electric bikes. Again, you get this rack that's welded right to the frame, max capacity 25 kilograms. Really nice blue kind of sparkle paint here. I think all the colors are actually pretty cool that the company offers. They really want to keep this frame nice, that's for sure. So let's see. Maybe start detaching some of these handlebars. If you are watching this live, I'd love to hear what e-bike you have, what e-bike, maybe e-bikes, or what bikes you're looking at purchasing. If you've heard of Euphree before, definitely a name that I had been seeing around a little bit more before they reached out. Okay, let's see here. What I might want to do, see if I can get the bike to stand. All right, let's look at this. Let's look to see what's in the box maybe quickly. See, nicely integrated battery here. All right. Definitely can tell that the company has thought things through a little bit. Got a nice Euphree burlap bag here. We'll see what's in here. Thanks for not referring to step-through bikes as women bikes. Yep, I think anyone should ride whatever bike is going to be most comfortable and whatever bike is going to get you out riding the most. I think a lot of people still have this misconception that step-through bikes are women's bikes, and I just think that is not the case. And in my opinion, you should just get whatever works for you. And in fact, there's a lot more companies who that are going towards simply offering step-through bikes. In fact, there's one company that told me all their models are going to be step-throughs. So if that's any indication. All right, we have a sticker that says use protection, wear a helmet. It's always a good idea. Check out our best e-bike brands, best electric bike helmets page. That's linked on our website. And then you also have a nice Euphree sticker as well, branded sticker. You get this nice T-handle. I haven't seen this included or anything like this included on any of the electric bikes that I've reviewed. So that's maybe a nice tool that I'll keep around. Might come in handy with its longer handle here. And then, of course, you get some other just Allen wrenches as well. I'll probably use my other wrench set we'll see here. All right, and then you get the e-bike guide. Thank you for your purchase. Let's get riding. Our bikes are 90% assembled, which means there's a few things for you to complete. Unbox, assemble, front wheel skewer, and they give a warning about the skewer, alignment, pedals, fenders and lights, how to turn on your City Robin, and how to turn on and off the light. Nice little quick start guide. Don't drop your bike. I don't have the kickstand down because I need to put the front wheel on, so I was kind of letting it rest. We have the D-Power 2-amp charger. Seen this a lot before. And let's see what we have in here. Got some reflectors. I personally don't typically put those on the bikes I review. And we have some Welgo pedals, slightly different than I've seen on many electric bikes. These ones don't have the pins attached, so they're more flat pedals, I guess, but they do have some grip, so I'll be curious to give those a try. All right, now I suppose I better get that front wheel on before the bike falls over. All right, make sure, careful here. They do have 4 bolts at the front and rear here for some accessories. And I do have some accessories here. So I'm not sure if I'll put them on in this video, but they will certainly be on for our review video. We'll just see how time goes here. Again, this is the Euphree City Robin. So I believe this would be technically the second generation of this model. And I think that's a very good way of doing it. Like a lot of brands, sometimes will release a completely redesigned model. But I think it's good to sometimes just keep, if you have a good model that's designed, like the frames, nicely done and people like it, just make incremental improvements to the bike as it's possible. So I think that's a pretty good strategy. All right, so we have to turn around the front fork here. Let's see. And sometimes it can be tricky to just make sure you get your handlebars. Sometimes you have to twist it the other way. I'm just trying to look here. So right now they are crossed. And I don't want to go once more. So maybe I have to turn the fork around the other way. I'm not sure. We'll see here. Sometimes it's just a little tricky. I want to say that may have done it here. Still got them crossing, but I think that might be kind of how they're designed to be. Got the shifter on the right. Trying to think if there would be any other way. Yeah, you wouldn't do that. So yeah, I think that's they've got the display cable coming across here to the right side. Yeah, I think this is right. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to try to maybe hang these handlebars. Obviously, having a bike stand would be significantly easier. All right, we got the light here. And looks like they installed this kind of upside down. I wonder if the tire's going to clear that. We'll see here. All right, we'll give it a try. And there is a spacer for that hydraulic brake, so you definitely want to be careful. Don't hit the left brake, especially on hydraulic brakes. And I should have removed the fender on this, so I'll try to brace this as well. Just kind of wrapped in the spokes here, I'm sure just for shipping a little bit. There we go. Okay. We saw that fender in a little bit. And all right. Hopefully it'll clear this light. This is always where it's helpful to, actually I think I need to move the handlebars out of the way more. Maybe what I'll do, just seeing if I can get that. I think what I might do on this one is I don't want to scratch up this nice frame. I might install these handlebars at least temporarily. And maybe I will use that handle if this is the right size here. It is. Take off the stem plate. I believe this is an SR Suntour front fork as well. And that's not something I've seen on too many more affordable electric bikes as well. So I'll be kind of curious how it feels. SR Suntour, of course, is the same brand of that as the suspension seat post. So SR Suntour suspension throughout, I guess. Okay. The cables are really nicely wrapped. Always like to see that. Not something you can say is the case on all electric bikes. If you want the cables looking nice on some of them, you'll just have to buy some off Amazon and do it yourself. So just get these lightly in there, and then I will kind of be able to get a sense of where I want these handlebars. And what I really like about this bike, I mean, I can already tell it's the components that come on this bike. I think it's what you can expect for around $2,000, but you have Tektro brakes here, hydraulic brakes, so that's great. I'm pretty sure they're the same ones that I've tested on other electric bikes. All right, we got the handlebars up. This will be a little bit easier. And just get that rotor in between here. And hope that that light stays out of the way. I might have to remove that light first, actually. Thinking I might. Yeah, we're gonna have to remove that light quick. So if you are buying this bike, just be sure to loosen up that light bolt here. And you need to do it anyway to get into the, to attach the fender. All right. Take this out. Integrated front light. It's always nice to see. And trying to think here. I'm guessing it just goes over here. Have to maybe look at a photo. Again, if you are just joining me, be sure to check out the link in the description for this bike. It's the Euphree City Robin. And of course, if you have any questions, I'll check the comments here in just a second. Just let me get this front wheel on. Shouldn't be too hard now. All right, that was nice and easy. Got their nice little head badge here. Yeah. I feel like even this travel on this suspension seems a little bit longer. So yeah, I can't wait to check out the suspension. And even these tires have a little bit of, I mean, they're definitely capable in the city, but you could even take this on crushed gravel, I'm guessing, with the suspension as well. Not sure what model for. Maybe says SR Sun Tour QSP. Not sure if that would be a model number. I'll have to look that up. I'm just tightening the front skewer here. All right, let's see. What I've always heard attaching these skewers, so Matt, who has been doing some assemblies videos with us, he always likes to put the lever on the left side so you kind of avoid touching the disc rotor. And you always want to kind of have an imprint in your hand. All right, we can get the kickstand up. Bike's not going to fall now. All right, here we go. Yes, Peter asked this about the SR Sun Tour suspension C-post. Yes, $100, $109 I've seen for that suspension C-post. I just built my first e-bike. Love riding it. Everyone enjoy the day. Sleeping Bear, if you're still there, what electric bike did you purchase? Would love to hear. Let's see. Pedals? I don't know if it came with a pedal wrench or not, but I have one handy. All right. Usually these are marked. We'll see if I can find it quick. This one looks like it's the right pedal. Right pedal is always going to be normal threaded. Always want your pedals nice and tight. You might want to put grease on them as well. All right, and the left one's going to be reverse threaded, so left is going to be tight on this one. I believe this bike comes with a 14 amp hour battery. Again, very nice integrated design here. Even got bottle cage bosses here. Sometimes on the integrated batteries, you lose the bottle cage bosses. So it's nice to see. All right. Oops. There we go. Okay. Pedals are on. Love that this comes with the suspension seat post. All right. Let's see. Front fender. Go ahead and do that maybe. And let's see here. And I have to say that looks remarkably similar to Aventon's frame structure. I feel like when you get some of these integrated batteries, they do look very similar. I mean, there's not a whole lot of, I guess, and especially with some of these bike brands that are using the same, battery cases from Riantian, your frame kind of has to be that shape. And then if it's a step through, I mean, it's a step through. So, but I think if you look, I've noticed, at least through a lot of my reviews, if you look a little bit closer at some of the details, you might not actually notice unless you, have both bikes in front of you. There are, a bunch of differences. And it's not only, the frame design, right? It's where the cables are routed, what display they're using, down to grips and pedals and gearing and derailleur and motor. There's a lot of things that can be different. I mean, on this bike, maybe you have a bike that looks very similar, but it has an external rack as opposed to an internal rack, integrated rack right into the frame. So, all right. Let's see. I think we'll go like that. Let's see. Fender first? Yeah, let's go fender first. And on this one, I mean, I've never seen a SR Suntour fork on any of the more budget brand bikes that I've reviewed. So they're definitely taking a little bit of a different approach. Especially with the suspension seat post. And I actually kind of like having this long handled Allen set. All right, let's get that nice and tight. Not sure what brand light this is. We'll see how bright it is. Oh, looks like I need a different size here. And I might use my trusty little Topeak ratchet wrench here. Maybe a 4. And again, I will try to show the racks off, at least give you an idea. Double wall chain ring up front. We have micro shift components. So that's a brand that I feel like I've been seeing a little bit more. And I like them. I've been pretty impressed with how they perform. Especially if you're kind of comparing it to the super entry level Shimano thumb shifter. I actually kind of like the more, having both, thumb triggers, I guess, underneath. Perhaps user preference on that, but I've personally been a fan of them. All right. Looks like these fenders are really going to hug the tire nicely, and I actually think I need to loosen this one up. I should have put the fender a little bit higher than I did. It's probably a good recommendation just generally to give yourself a little bit more clearance. I'm not sure what motor, curious what I can shares what brand of motor they're using. Check that out as well. Get this one started. Again, if you just happen to be joining us, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will check them in just a second here. Just want to get this fender bolt on. Trying to get started by hand. There we go. All right, and I am going to have to raise this fender up just slightly. I'll use this nice one that they give us here, just a little bit easier to get in there. There we go. That gives me enough clearance, I think. All right, we'll see. We'll see how that works. I might have to do some more adjusting before I ride it, but we'll put these in. At least we know where these go here. The other side. All right. Okay, let's see. Handlebars. Do that next. Check some comments here. MSRP on this bike is $19.99. In my opinion, very, at least spec-wise, pretty good. Pretty good pricing. I think you get a lot for the price. All right, so obviously we have some adjustability here. Looks like it's at maybe 20, 30 degrees maybe. And so that feels pretty good. I could go maybe a little bit higher. Let's see. Some of these adjustable stems, you do have to kind of have two adjustments here. So maybe I'll see what I can do here. Maybe I want to raise this up a little bit more. Let's see, that should come loose. Might need one on the other side. That one doesn't want to come loose. Let's see. The nice thing is I can get this kind of all dialed in, so when I ride it, it's all set up. So what size this is here. I don't know why this one is very tight on this side. Try my better tool here. All right, maybe I won't adjust the stem right now. We'll just leave it there. I'll come back to that. Don't want to spend too much time on it. Yeah, so this has adjustability. It looks like maybe all the way to 90 degrees. All right, let's go ahead and get these handlebars adjusted. That feels pretty good. Get them centered here with the lines. Definitely, if you want to do everything by the book, you'd want to use a torque wrench up here. A display I have not seen before, left hand thumb throttle. I talked about those micro shift components. You do have a bell over here. Actually a pretty nice sounding bell. Kind of nice. Swept-back handlebars, really like that. Again, comfort is definitely something that they have taken into account, which I am a huge fan of. One more to go here. All right. And I always come back and check everything before I do a first ride. Let's see how that goes. Let's see. A little bit tighter here. Just gonna just push on the suspension. Hopefully I got these tight enough again. There's a lock out here. Oh yeah, suspension feels really nice. All right, let's see. Check some comments here. Okay, let's see what is next. Maybe I'll turn on the bike. See if I welcome. Yeah, definitely a new display that I have not seen. It is color, but it just has a few different colors. So left side here, kind of out of the way. That's nice if you have some accessories. And you go ahead and turn on the lights. Front light looks actually fairly bright. Rear light just goes on. Of course, if you want external lights, check out our electric bike accessories list. And yeah, let's see, you have the battery obviously down here, nicely tucked into the down tube. And the nice suspension seat post. You can hop on that. You can see a little bit how that works. Again, we did a separate video on the suspension seat post, and yeah, just makes a huge difference. If you buy one of these and then you ride a bike without it, you will definitely miss it. Let's check out this motor here. I might just turn off the bike, just make sure. Let's see. Looks like. Yeah, so they are using a Bafang motor. Again, they said it peaks at 850 watts. These are Kenda tires. No reflective sidewalls, but 27.5 by 2.1 inches. Already talked about that micro shift derailleur. Not sure, might have to. It looks like perhaps the derailleur hanger got bent. Or sorry, not the derailleur hanger, the derailleur guard. Usually you can just bend those out very carefully, of course. It looked like there wasn't going to be room for that shifter to get into its highest gear. Motor cable coming on the right here. I do really like the shifter cable actually integrated into the frame. Motor cable is external here, but that's a nice touch. Let's see what else we have. And on the left side, the hydraulic hose is also integrated into the frame. That's not something you see usually at this price point either. And I'll go ahead and maybe just show the racks here. So this will be the front rack, and you can imagine it'll mount right about here. Definitely want to just be mindful of the cable management. So that'll add some cargo capability. Always like to feature the accessories. Looks like a pretty heavy duty one. And then you also have a rear basket as well on this bike. A pretty large one. I'm not sure exactly what these run. Of course, I'll have more details in our full review. Let's see. Actually, not sure. Is this? Looks like it's made that you could. Oh, it looks like it might be kind of a. Oh yeah. So it clamps on here. I'll have to look more into how it works. Not sure which way it would clamp, but there's a clamping mechanism here, and so. It actually looks like you might attach this to the frame, and then the basket maybe can be removed. So I'll have to dig into that. That's kind of something that's really unique. That's pretty cool. I like that. But there are 4 mounting bolts, so I'll have to kind of work out how this would work. But I'm not sure where the release would be on this, but that's very cool. Like that. Always like when companies kind of think through some of the accessories. Again, metal fenders here. And yeah, overall, looks like a nice bike. I'm really excited to get this review out. I think it looks great. Unique paint job. 14 amp hour battery. Again, located in the bottom of the down tube. Keys are up here. All right, I think that pretty much sums it up. If you have any questions, I'll give you one more minute on this. Again, there will be a link in the description if you are interested in checking this bike out. At time of recording, you can get a free bike lock using my code in the description. So appreciate the support. All right, I think that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you found this helpful. Check out all of our videos. Review of this bike coming when the weather starts improving and we can start getting out some more e-bike reviews I cannot wait to get riding. It's been a slow start to spring. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.